In Unit 2, you'll learn how to proofread your own writing. So, why should you proofread your writing? We all make mistakes when we are writing our ideas down, and that can make it difficult for your readers to understand what you're trying to say. So, we proofread our work to change out those mistakes. There are many types of mistakes you can make in a piece of writing. We're going to focus on 3 types: tenses, spelling, and subject-verb agreement. Let's take a look at this sentence. Yesterday she is happy. Since this is talking about something that happened yesterday, the verb should be in the past tense. One correct way to change this sentence out is yesterday she was happy. You want to make sure the tenses are correct in your writing so that your readers will understand the order of events, especially in a narrative. Let's take a look at this sentence. 2 of the words, yesterday and happy, are misspelled. And here's the sentence with the spelling mistakes corrected. A few spelling mistakes won't really affect your reader that much. But if you have many in one sentence within a few lines, your readers will have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what you're saying. And this will affect their ability to understand your writing. How about this sentence? Yesterday she were happy. The subject-verb agreement here is wrong because she is a third-person singular pronoun and were is the form of verb to be used for second-person singular or second and third-person plural. So the correct sentence is, yesterday she was happy. In a complex sentence with multiple subjects, using the wrong subject-verb agreement can be very confusing for your readers. So, how can you proofread your own writing? First, you must plan to spend time on proofreading at the end of your piece of writing. If you only have 1 hour to complete one piece of writing, you should stop writing when there are 5 to 10 minutes left and start proofreading. Second, you can use the method of reading backwards to help you spot mistakes. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Lastly, you want to double check the changes you have made. Sometimes, when we're in a rush, we might change out something that is correct, or put in something that is actually wrong. So, let's say you have written this passage and you have 10 minutes left on the exam. One of the most effective methods of spotting spelling and agreement mistakes is to go through your writing backwards. Here's how to do it. Start from the end of your writing and go through it sentence by sentence, just like this. This way, you won't be too focused on the content and you can actually see if there are spelling mistakes or agreement errors. Let's say you've made these changes after proofreading and you still have some time left on the exam. Use that time to double check the changes you've made. So now, let's practice proofreading together. We'll pretend you wrote this paragraph and want to check it for spelling and subject-verb agreement mistakes. So, we'll start by looking at the last sentence. We can easily spot 2 mistakes here. We has is the wrong subject-verb agreement, so we'll change has to have. And rabbit is missing a B, so we'll fix the spelling mistake as well. Then we'll move on to the sentence before it. The word quiet here doesn't really make any sense and is actually a misspelling of the word quite. Moving on, I were is the wrong subject-verb agreement here, so we can change were to was. Let's look at the sentence before that. It doesn't seem to have any spelling or subject-verb agreement mistakes. The same thing is true for the two sentences before that as well, so we can move on. Now we're looking at the first sentence in this passage, and we can spot that remember is missing an M and apartment is missing a T, so we'll make changes accordingly. Now let's check the same passage for mistakes in tenses. To check for tenses, you need to see the flow of ideas, so it's easier to start from the beginning to the end. So, this time we'll start by looking at the verb in the first sentence. The verb remember here is describing what the narrator, or I, remembers doing from the present moment. So it is correct to use the present tense for this verb. In the next sentence, shouted is in the past tense because this action took place in the dream, so it is also correct. In the next sentence, the narrator talks about remembering something in the dream, so this time remembered is in the past tense, so this is correct. However, since all of this happened in the past, thinking about the future in the past requires the past future tense. So the word will actually needs to be would instead. In the same way, Dad will leave for work also needs to be changed to Dad would leave for work, as it is still in the past future tense. In the next sentence, the narrator is describing the action of talking in the dream, so the past continuous tense is appropriate here. And in the very last sentence, we see the narrator talking about something that happened even before the past or the dream. So what we need here is actually the past perfect tense, meaning have needs to be changed to had here. So now it's your turn to practice. Take a look at this passage and proofread it for mistakes in spelling, subject-verb agreement, and tenses. Type out the whole passage with the mistakes corrected in the space provided.